Hi, welcome to Arc and Snook. I am Anne. So today in this video I'll be swatching the Cotman watercolor paints in tubes that I poured individually into pans. So these paints are going to live in this metal palette. It's flat bottomed, and actually this palette can hold at least 23 individual pans, half pans. Okay, so also I want to give you a heads up. This video will be hastened because of YouTube restrictions. I can only upload 15-minute videos, so things are going to be a little crammed, and I hope you can stick with me. And don't worry, I'm gonna make small notes, and please feel free to pause at any point. Okay, so here is the condition of the paints on day 2. All of the paints caved in, so I had to double pour some of them. And there's also going to be a list here of the paints that I double poured. Okay, so these are the state of the pans after a few days of drying. Okay, I'll check the comment bubble for more detailed information. By the way, like I said, all of the paints caved in, but none of the paints dried up in a way that they detached from the pans. So that is a good thing for this paint tubes. A number of the paints did have these air bubble craters, and a few of the drier paints did have some shrinkage as well. And this Prussian Blue was the worst of them all. Not only did it caved in the first time, there is also like shrinkage on the sides. So I am actually not that disappointed with how these paints dried up, because like I said before in my previous video, I have had experience with pouring paint tubes into pans, and these performed really well, so I'm not complaining. Okay, so this is the test swatch paper that I used from before. I will be doing the on-cam swatch on this paper, and this is my sketchbook of swatches. This is my Seamiart 1/4 inch flat brush that I'll be using for swatching. I have 3 tubs of water. I have my clean water, my warm colors, and cool colors tub of water. Okay, and I'll be placing a couple of drops of water on each pan to activate them. And here I go. This is Chinese white. Next is lemon yellow hue. This one is cadmium yellow hue. And this is cadmium orange hue. And the 5th color is Cadmium Red Deep Hue. And this is Alizarin Crimson Hue. This one is Permanent Rose. Upon swatching, this looked a lot like a pink color to me. And this is Purple Lake, but this is an old tube. Okay, just a reminder from my previous video, I did show you that this is an old tube of watercolor that I had. And now this is Dioxazine Purple. And then we have Ultramarine. And this is Prussian Blue. Initially, I didn't like how this looked when I was swatching it, but when it dried into this denim looking blue. I really love it after that. And then this is Cerulean Blue Hue. And next is Turquoise. And then we have Emerald. And like I said, this looks more like a tree green to me. And this one is Viridian Hue. And one of my favorite in this palette is Ochre's Green Light. Next up is Yellow Ochre. And then this is our transparent burnt sienna. This one is burnt umber. And then the last one is lamp black. In here, I'll be comparing the test swatch and the fresh swatch that I made. So obviously, Chinese white is opaque. Lemon yellow hue on the test swatch had this green tinge undertone, but on the fresh swatch, it's just a bright yellow. And this one is cadmium yellow hue. To me, it says it's transparent, but it's slightly opaque. This is cadmium orange hue, beautiful orange, and it has a nice wash color. Next is cadmium red deep hue. This is a neutral red. And this one is Alizarin Crimson, a slightly deep red. And next is Permanent Rose, which I think is more like a pink than a red. And this one is Purple Lake. Again, this is from an old tube. And this is Dioxazine Purple. It's much more darker on the test swatch, but it's still deep in the fresh swatch. And this is Ultramarine. I'm a little disappointed in this one. And then we have Prussian Blue, a deep denim bluish color. I love it. It's not the best. And now this is Cerulean Blue Hue. It's a nice color. It's kind of pretty. It is a typical sky blue color. And this one is Turquoise. I like this swatch much better than the one I did on my sketchbook. And next is Emerald. Like I said, this is more of a tree green to me. It's very bright, very nice. And next is Viridian Hue. It's a little different from the other Viridian hues that I have. Next is Ochre's Green Light, a nice deep green, but I wanted more a little darker, but it's one of my favorites. This is Yellow Ochre. It's opaque, bright yellow ochre. I love it. Next is Burnt Sienna. I like this better on the test swatch. It's a little more deep. Okay, this is Burnt Umber. I like this more on the test swatch as well. This is more cooler than what I expected. And lastly, this is Lamp Black. Very deep black and an opaque black. Okay, so pause at any time. These are all bright colors. Now this is my sketchbook of swatches where I put the complete information except for the light fastness. So this one is Chinese white, 1 pigment, 150 color code, permanence is AA, and this is an opaque color. Next is lemon yellow hue, single pigment, color code of 346, permanence is A, and it is transparent, beautiful bright color yellow. And then next is cadmium yellow hue, 2 pigments, color code is 109, permanent, transparent, and it's also staining, but this is slightly opaque to me. Okay, and then this one is cadmium orange hue, 2 pigments, 090 color code, and then it is permanent and is transparent. This is cadmium red deep hue with 2 pigments, 098 color code, permanent, transparent, and also it's staining. Next is Alizarin Crimson Hue, 1 pigment, color code is 003, permanence is A. I believe this is a transparent color. Next is a permanent rose, single pigment, 502 color code, it's permanent and it's transparent and it is also staining. This one is also slightly opaque to me, so as you can see. Now next is Purple Lake, single pigment, 544 is the color code. It is permanent and it is transparent. Next is Dioxazine Purple, single pigment, 231 color code. It is permanent, it's transparent, and it also is a staining color. Next, Ultramarine, single pigment, color code 660. It is permanent, transparent, and is the only granulating color. Prussian Blue, single pigment, 538 color code. It is permanent and it is also transparent. Pretty, beautiful denim blue. Next is Cerulean Blue Hue, single pigment, 139 color code. It is permanent and it is opaque. Next up is Turquoise, 2 pigments, 654 color code. It is permanent and it is also opaque. This is Emerald, 2 pigments, color code is 235. It is permanent and also opaque. This is Viridian Hue, single pigment, 696 color code. It is permanent, transparent, and is staining. Hooker's Green Light, 3 pigments, 314 color code, permanent, transparent, and is also staining. Beautiful deep green color. This is Yellow Ochre, single pigment, 744 color code, extremely permanent and opaque. This is Burnt Sienna, single pigment, color code 074, extremely permanent and is transparent. Burnt Umber, 2 pigments, 076 color code, extremely permanent and is also opaque, a little cooler than I expected. And then lastly, this is Lamp Black, 1 pigment, 337 color code, extremely permanent and also opaque. On here, I'll be doing a mini mixing on my tiny sketchbook. I'll be using Lemon Yellow Hue as my primary yellow, Permanent Rose as my primary red, and then Turquoise as my primary blue. Okay, so yellow plus blue, it gave me this bright, light, soft green. Yellow plus red gave me this bright orange, and then red plus blue, I have this pretty purple color. So this is how it looked like after drying. Again, please feel free to pause at any time, at any point of the video. And then that is it for my fast swatch video of the Cotman watercolor paints. I'll be doing a review on these paints as well. I'll be talking about the price point, whether it is something I will repurchase, blah blah blah. So I'll just see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like or subscribe. Okay, so bye for now.